Welcome to Thought Jedi School. This is the introduction to the video series, What School Curriculum Fails to Teach Us. Let me start off by telling you, just in case you don't already know, elementary school and high school gives you certain tools that will help you survive the industrial world, but it doesn't teach you the most valuable tool of all. That is how to think in general, critical thinking. I for one feel like we've all been robbed a little bit. Tax dollars have been wasted, at least in part. Then there is the issue of behavioral modifications, aka brainwashing, also subject for another video. It took me many years of failure in order to devise efficient thought processes that yielded accurate understandings of abstract issues. But after 10 or 15 years of education and practice, mixed with a little bit of creativity, I formulated a set of guidelines, as well as a couple of thought models that can drastically improve abilities to understand a wide array of complex topics. Be prepared. Learning these guidelines and becoming exceptional at applying the thought models will take a little effort. Anything worth knowing takes effort. Don't let that intimidate you. Not only are these skills worth it, but mandatory. That is, if thinking is something we aspire to be decent at. If you enjoy debating, then what I'm about to teach you could be used to win almost every debate that you choose to engage in. I would prefer that you didn't take what I teach you and weaponize it in order to win debates, but ultimately that is your choice. What I'm about to teach you can also eliminate debating almost completely. You can actually turn your opponent into your teammate, and then both of you cooperatively solve the puzzle. The win becomes a better understanding of the situation or an answer to a given problem. We can think critically about a topic without having a back and forth battle over it. And if we are working together, then we arrive at the answers faster and more efficiently, therefore allowing us to validate more ideas than we would have before. Okay, hopefully I have your attention. Within this introductory video, I will tell you a little bit about my motivations and outline some misconceptions about intelligence in general. Like always, if you're new to the channel, I also recommend that you watch the introduction video to my channel so that you can get an idea of what I'm all about in general, if you haven't already. Before I address the misconceptions about intelligence and my motivations, I will outline what I'll be teaching you within the series. In part 1, I will point out some bad habits that may prevent getting the right answers or just slow the process down in general. In part 2, I will talk about how to identify when a puzzle has a good chance of being solved in the first place, so that we aren't wasting energy on unanswerable questions. Efficiency. I will also cover evidence-based reasoning. In part 3, I will give you my custom cause and effect analysis, evidence, valuation, critical thinking model. This will be the most important item of the series, and using this will hone the brain for truly understanding why something is the way that it is, as well as help us to identify the right questions to ask, therefore what to research, while showing how to value the evidence collected. Down the road, I will add videos displaying the use of the cause and effect model for issues subscribers suggest. Also, keep in mind that you likely have a great untapped potential. It's likely that many of your gifts are being overlooked. You may be surprised at what you're capable of figuring out. Remember, school curriculum failed to teach us how to think, so most people actually don't think. Not our faults, but it needs to be remedied. Also, there is no shame in not knowing something, and there are no stupid questions, only stupid answers. Getting a wrong answer actually just means that you've figured out something that doesn't work, which is actually just part of the process. Okay, so misconceptions about intelligence. Intelligence has been defined as a wide array of mental abilities. Unfortunately, many of those abilities are not commonly associated with intelligence by the majority. Most people really only associate a few things with intelligence, and those are math, memory, smooth talking, and financial success. Additionally, good grades and IQ test scores rank highly, much higher than they should in all actuality. Not saying they don't mean anything either. There are many aspects of intelligence that IQ tests do not test for. It seems that we really haven't figured out an easy way to test for abilities such as creativity, lateral thinking, abstract problem solving, and emotional recognition, to name a few. Now think about that for a second and imagine what your IQ score would be if the test was recognizing those abilities. Now, realistically, we can be good at a certain mental ability and horrible at a whole bunch of other ones. For example, I'm great at critical thinking, lateral thinking, psychological profiling, and I'm really creative, but I am horrible at particular memory, like names, places, times and dates. Jeopardy and Trivial Pursuit are not my favorite games. Then there are even more skills that I have not developed, so I can't claim to be terribly valuable for those tasks either. And so what? Who says we have to be good at everything? Now, unfortunately, we do all need the ability to reason, which is what I'm going to teach you in this series. No matter if your IQ is that of a genius, it's still extremely important to have some guidelines of critical thinking. There's always room for improvement. For example, many geniuses are great at math but have weak common sense, and many scientists claim to believe in gods or creators when the correct answer is nobody knows. So as for my motivations, I may not have the greatest social skills, but my intentions are to help all of civilization. Other motivations: we live in a democracy, some of us anyway, but people are manipulated with propaganda and hastily latch on to opinions for many reasons. That's dangerous because in a democracy we are reliant on the group's overall decisions. If people are not basing their opinion on evidence, then their misconceptions become a compounded problem and a threat to democracy itself. Keep in mind that both politicians and corporations use this to take advantage or abuse everyone. My main motivation is that I want to help manifest a more tangible, enlightened civilization, not the fake spiritual version. I'm fairly certain that if we do not change our approaches, that we are going to suffer great losses. If we all know how to think efficiently and cooperatively, then we will better our chances at solving our problems, create a smoother ride, and increase the amount of fun we can have, while at the same time decreasing the amount of work we have to do. Lastly, what I would like all of you to consider before we move on to part 1. People that want to manipulate you into following them or make you dependent are doing that so they can insert themselves as authority over you. Those type of people are trying to sell you something and are not going to slit their own throats by teaching you how to think for yourself. I'm teaching you how to free your minds. Although, I would hope that you stick around to cooperatively help solve the world's problems with me, and obviously I still have other things of value to share with you. The point is, I'm co-op for the win. Additionally, I may have answers to some of our most important problems, and I also have things to teach, but I'm no leader. Ponder this thought. None of us really think anything alone. Therefore, none of us should really have rule over the rest. I'm not here to shove knowledge down your throat like an authoritarian. I'm here to offer you what I'm confident is a better alternative to the way we have learned, communicated, and cooperated in the past. Again, my intention is to free your mind so that you will never need any authority to tell you the answers again, while at the same time emphasizing the power of focused cooperation to a common goal. This is the core of the thought revolution. Thank you for joining. Thanks for subscribing, sharing, and thumbing up. Now on to part 1, how to get out of our own way.